We're very excited about Final Fantasy XIII, but Square Enix isn't stopping there. They're also hard at work on the title that comes after that. And I'm proud to introduce and show the first footage anywhere of Final Fantasy XIV. What? So there's one that didn't leak out, huh?
Might as well say the words Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, right, yeah, they
Final
announced
Fantasy XIV Online. Final Fantasy XIV coming in 2010. And everybody just like
14 is going to come out before 13?
Sony just announced today that Final Fantasy XIV will be exclusive to PlayStation 3. And it, also like Final Fantasy XIII, is coming next year in 2010. That's right, 2 Final Fantasy games on the PlayStation 3. It's an MMO.
Should be big.
Yeah.
So they did announce the PS3 exclusive. Oh God, slow down. Final Fantasy XIV online. What do you got, Revan? Final Fantasy XIV. I know I haven't seen the gameplay of it yet, so don't beat me up, Final Fantasy fans. But if it's going to just be exactly like 11, we don't need another one.
Day 2 of E3 2009 is jumping. The final press conference is in the bag, and I'm here with your fix for Wednesday, June 3rd. So do you remember that part in the Sony press conference where they said Final Fantasy XIV would only be playable on the PS3? Not so fast, Sony. During a Q&A session today, Square developers said that there is a chance Final Fantasy XIV will land on Microsoft's console, noting that Final Fantasy XI on the 360 was a huge success.
Sempre pronta a sorprenderci nel bene e nel male. Mentre stiamo ancora aspettando la data di un MMORPG completamente online e uscirà anche in Europa l'anno prossimo. Purtroppo non localizzato in italiano, ma in inglese e tedesco.
We made it, guys. IGN's holiday party for the win. It's Friday. I'm hungover, just here with your fix for December 18th. Square Enix's next giant MMO has started its beta applications. At this time, the beta is only open to PC users. However, a PS3 beta is scheduled to hit later on. If you're interested, head over to FinalFantasyXIV.com. Good luck with getting in.
3 weeks later.
That was harder than I expected, but at least we got a better route.
Boss, we got a lot of complaints from the official forum. It seems that our servers are down everywhere.
Oh, don't worry. Servers broken during beta is normal for any MMO.
Also, we still don't know how this engine works. Can we at least delay the game launch for a bit?
What do you think, Mr. Square Enix?
Okay, sure. We will let you delay the next beta.
Okay, thanks. Wait, did you say delay beta?
Yep.
What about an actual game launch?
Nope.
3 hours later.
Finally, Final Fantasy XIV isn't quite ready for its beta debut. Originally scheduled to go live today at 7 p.m. Pacific time, the beta test will be delayed until, well, we don't know yet. Square Enix said that the delay is due to critical bugs present in the beta. I guess a delay is better than a crashed computer. And that's your fix for August 31st, 2010.
Early the next morning.
My name is Seiji Sandy. I'm a global online producer.
Hi, I'm Yasuki Kurosawa, North American online producer. Today we're showing Final Fantasy XIV on the floor for the first time in North America for the public.
So tell us a little bit about like the gameplay.
We have a lot of complaint about Final Fantasy XI that it's a little bit hardcore. So this time we make this game for a little more casual, friendly. So a player who doesn't have that much time to play can enjoy. So it's easier for the casual gamers.
And then describe the world for us and what gamers would expect to see.
Sure. Final Fantasy XIV takes in the world of Hydaelyn, and also in the realm of Erzea that we are introduced. You are introduced as a player character to start from one of the 3 city-states.
What type of combat systems, describe the combat system for us?
We are having this the combat system that you interact a little bit more compared to the previous MMOs that we had. So every time you initiate an action, you choose what action you take. So very fast paced, and then a lot of fun, and a lot of pretty deep system that we have.
Hey, what's up everyone? Charles here, and in case you weren't aware, Square's next big MMO is coming out, Final Fantasy XIV, and we scored a collector's edition. So let's take a look at what's in the box here. I haven't even taken the plastic wrap off, so you can see very standard Square fancy artwork on the front of it there, and on the back it's just sort of a 14 with the logo. An art book. No, this is a notepad. So in case you want to write stuff down, because I've been playing this game in beta, it is a little confusing. So the other plus of the collector's edition is that you get into the game early. So if you happen to pick this up, you can get in on the 22nd of September. Otherwise you have to wait until the 30th before playing. And yeah, I'm going to be jumping in tomorrow, so maybe I'll see you online.
Several days later.
Unless you've got the patience of Job or some kind of masochist, you shouldn't play Final Fantasy XIV. Its problems are so vast that I could spend hours talking about them. The awful interface, the recycled content, the stringent limits on questing, the useless maps, the stupid market ward, these issues and dozens more constantly have you asking that age-old question, what were they thinking? There's so much wrong with this massively multiplayer role-playing game that what's right gets buried under the rubble. The visual technology is great. The flexible class system is a great idea, and there are some pretty cutscenes to gawk at. But that stuff is wasted on Final Fantasy XIV, which requires a lot out of you, but gives back so little in return. This isn't fun, it's work. Once you get through the awful and convoluted account sign-up process and deal with the sluggish patcher, you might actually start getting excited. Your excitement might even grow once you start the game and get greeted with an attractive series of cutscenes that show off the impressive graphics engine. But things go downhill in a major way once you take control of your character. You're constantly left asking questions like, how do I know where to go next? Where are the market wards? How do I find out which vendor sells which items? Why can't I open my inventory with a single key press? From the very moment you start, Final Fantasy XIV seems as if it goes out of its way to make you hate it. But suffice it to say, Final Fantasy XIV is not the online RPG you should be playing. Not by a long shot.
Something's wrong. The air here is so heavy.
Despite the fact that this isn't Square Enix's first stab at an MMO, Final Fantasy XIV falls flat at almost every turn. The most egregious error is that for a game this complex, Square Enix doesn't take the time to teach you the basics. We can certainly appreciate games that let you discover their finer points on your own, but 14 takes this to an absurd degree. There's also a fatigue system in place that caps your experience if you stick to one job. It's meant to encourage switching between jobs, but for those who like to stick to one class, it's a major hurdle. Once you do manage to find your bearings, you'll discover that most of the activities the game has to offer involve running around or grinding in some fashion. You'll waste inordinate amounts of time traversing each zone, either because you have no choice, mounts or other quick travel options have yet to be implemented, or because the alternative is just too costly. There's a teleportation mechanic in place that lets you instantly warp to locations you've already visited, but your use of it is limited by a sort of teleport currency known as anima. You'll burn through it quickly and it regenerates at an alarmingly slow rate, so get those running shoes ready to trek through the vast, bland, and relatively empty zones. Delving into the quest system reveals even more flaws. While there are some unique aspects to its setup, there's a cap on how many quests you can take on within a time period in excess of a whole day, and the time it takes for the quota to reset is unusually long. Unlike most other MMOs that let you tackle as many quests as you want, 14 applies arbitrary limits, forcing you to frequently seek less fun alternatives. This wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that the remaining activities boil down to straight grinding. It's backwards and out of place in this day and age. But it doesn't end there.
I can explode!
There's no mail system in place yet, and the social elements are half-cooked. And good luck figuring out if your buddies are online if they aren't already on your friends list, which incidentally requires that you add them while in close physical proximity. Even the common task of searching for a specific player is a needless chore.
The feeling, my dear, is mutual.
Rather than learn from past mistakes and incorporate what are inarguably advancements in the genre, Square Enix seems to have designed Final Fantasy XIV in a vacuum and released it halfway before it was done.
Take a look around. It's obvious, isn't it?
It just simply isn't worth the hassle.
Oh, my head.
Things are a mess right now, and given how tedious much of the game is, having to fight the controls and mechanics pushes things to the breaking point. You can put up with it and get by if you're irrationally determined, but it doesn't change the fact that Final Fantasy XIV was released in a state that's completely unacceptable for a finished product.
Naomi here with your fix for October 14th. After recently admitting that FF14 wasn't up to snuff, the company revealed their plans for a new version 2.0 update. Square Enix assured fans that they will do as much as possible by way of fine-tuning the game and adding new content.